Good morning on this Wednesday of Holy Week. Today, our Gospel reading comes from John chapter 13, verses 21 to 32, and it says this. After saying this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and declared, "Very truly I tell you, one of you will betray me." The disciples looked at one another, uncertain of whom he was speaking. One of his disciples, the one whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter therefore mentioned to him to ask Jesus of whom he was speaking. So, while reclining next to Jesus, he asked him, "Lord, who is it?" Jesus answered, "It is the one to whom I give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish." So when he had dipped the piece of bread, he gave it to Judas, son of Simon Iscariot. After he received the piece of bread, Satan entered him. Jesus said to him, "Do quickly what you are going to do." Now no one at the table knew why he said this to him. Some thought that because Judas had the common purse, Jesus was telling him, "Buy what we need for the festival," or that he should give something to the poor. So after receiving the piece of bread, he immediately went out, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will also glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once." Well, today is Spy Wednesday, when our attention is focused on the hapless Judas Iscariot. How easy it is to use Judas as the scapegoat, the one on whom we can place all our own moments of unfaithfulness, cheating, and betrayal. I've always felt a degree of sympathy for Judas. We know how his story ended. Recognizing the enormity of his mistake, he takes his own life, as described by St. Luke in particular, in great graphic details at the beginning of the Acts of the Apostles. Moments of crisis evoke both great acts of self-sacrifice, of which there is more tomorrow in the context of Maundy Thursday, but also the opportunity for misunderstanding and mistake. Against the background of the Passion narrative, none of those who were to become the apostles came out of it very positively, save, perhaps, the one identified as the beloved disciple. Undoubtedly, Judas got things catastrophically wrong. He may have acted out of pure greed. Have we never been greedy ourselves? He may have acted out of a complete failure to understand Jesus' purpose and his true identity as Messiah. Can any of us fully understand Jesus of Nazareth, the one we acclaim as Christ, Son of God, the one who is God incarnate, God with us? In our own times of crisis, together we try to do the right things and find ways forward to support each other, but there will be moments of disagreement and division in how to best achieve that. Mistakes have been and will continue to be made. But let us not stand in judgment or be too swift to criticize, adopting some self-identified moral high ground. The events of Holy Week remind us that we all hold some responsibility for that which we know to be sinful and disordered in the world, both individually and corporately. It is rightly an uncomfortable week, even if the early writers identified it as a great week. They did so because, of course, out of the horror of the events of this week came the road to hope. In today's Gospel, we read, after receiving the piece of bread, he, Judas, immediately went out, and it was night. When he had gone out, Jesus said, "Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him." As is so frequently the case in John's Gospel, we're confronted once more with the battle between light and darkness. It was night. Now the Son of Man has been glorified. God brings light out of darkness, hope out of despair, forgiveness in the face of terrible evil. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Life out of death. Our salvation is surely also Judas's salvation. St. Paul reminds us the cross is a scandal, and the depth of God's love knows no bounds. Amen.